Hi guys, in this video I will be talking to Clayton from Vehicle Acquisition Network. We will be going over all the challenges he was facing with lead generation before working with us and how we helped them solve those challenges. Over the last 1 year, we have booked more than 170 plus qualified calls for his company, which he was able to close at more than 20%, and that has led to additional 100k plus MRR into their revenue, right? So watch this video, see where Vehicle Acquisition Network was before working with us and how we help them overcome those challenges by working on their targeting, their messaging, and their replies handling as well. So here's the video. Hi Clayton, thanks for getting on.
My
Can you
pleasure.
just start with giving an introduction about what you guys do and who you work with?
Yeah, I'm with Vehicle Acquisition Network. What we do is we help automotive dealers get more and better used inventory through private party marketplaces, and we're a software as a service company.
Got it. And how many companies do you currently work with?
We're right over 300 dealers across the US and Canada.
Great. So to give you an overview, guys, we have been working with Clayton for more than a year and we have generated around 170 demos for him. So I just want to touch on upon the challenges he faced before working with us and what were the vehicles of getting more demos for him was. So can you just talk about some challenges you had?
Yeah, absolutely. So I came into the company about a year before you and I connected, and it was challenging to generate demos just through traditional marketing channels, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, Google pay per click. We were spending a lot of money to generate not a lot of demos, and the demos that we were generating were quite honestly not well qualified at that time. Our only real source of new leads and new business was word of mouth and existing customer referrals. So we were really looking for a way to scale and grow up. And we had considered hiring an in-house business development rep to do this kind of work, and hadn't even considered outsourcing it until you had reached out to us with the idea of potentially hiring Scoutreach to do that kind of work for us.
Right. And were we able to solve those challenges for you?
Yeah, so I mean, working with Scoutreach, it's been a really good relationship, because rather than having to hire somebody on, train them how to do this type of lead generation, I know I can just trust you and your team to set the demos, set the appointments. The demos that I get are qualified. They're people that are legitimately interested in the software that we have. You've done an excellent job of understanding our ideal customer profile, identifying and targeting decision makers within those companies. So I know with a high degree of confidence when I go into a demo that you've booked that one, they're going to likely show up, and two, they're going to be at least interested in what we have to say. That it's not going to be a waste of my time.
Right. Because when we are reaching out to them, we are just directly telling them what our value proposition is, and only when they show interest we are booking them on a call. So that's why I think cold email has been a good channel for most of the companies we work with because of the intent they show on the call as well. Because when you book calls through ads, they might not be that interested, right? With cold email the show up rate is always good, but with LinkedIn I haven't seen that much because I've tried LinkedIn with you as well, I've tried Facebook as well, but cold email has been the best source in doing that, right? So can you talk more about like what other channels did you consider? Like, did you consider cold calls for this or just?
Yeah, we considered cold calls. That was actually the role we were looking to hire for before we started working with you, was somebody to do cold calling. It's super challenging in our industry to do cold calling, because automotive dealerships are targeted all day long through cold outreach. It's very difficult to break through the noise. Quite honestly, it's difficult to break through the noise through email for dealerships. So the messaging that you put together to secure these demos is impressive, and I'm amazed that you're not getting lost in the noise and hitting people's spam filters. So good job on that.
Yeah. So talking about how we do this, like we obviously set up a lot of inboxes for all of our clients, right? So that's the deliverability part, because a lot of companies are not even reaching the inboxes, let alone getting the message across, right? And then again, we try to just cut straight to the point. We keep our emails short, right? And then if somebody shows interest, we book them into a call, right? Also, the script has been refined over a year. You know how many campaigns we have worked over a year, how many scripts we have sent, but ultimately this is the current script we are working on, is working great for us. So can you tell us about little bit recent results which you have been seeing? Like I remember last week we had like 8 scheduled demos in this week as well.
Yeah, I'm reliably this year. I don't know what you've made adjustments to in the scripting in the last few months, but I'm consistently seeing 5 to 10 demos per week scheduled. So that's really impressive. And even last year when we were just getting started, I was getting anywhere from 3 to 5 demos a week. But I don't know. You've updated or changed your scripting, I think, in the last few weeks to really supercharge those bookings.
I think we actually increase the volume, and we have been consistent with the volume. So last year, what was happening was we were just sending out campaigns with 200, 300 leads, but right now we are aiming at least 700 leads in a campaign, so it can run for a whole week, right? Because we are trying to send like 700 emails every day. So that has been what we have been able to generate, like 1 2 demos every day, right? Can you just, by ending this, talk about overall results you have seen, and what are the changes we have been able to get to van?
Yeah, so the biggest change is just reliable booked demos. I know that every single week I'm going to be talking to new interested prospects that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to get in front of, and that's super powerful. Over the course of our relationship together, you've helped us generate over $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue, which for our organization, based on our relatively low monthly billing rate, is really strong. It's certainly been a good channel for us to pursue. Probably our highest performing paid channel.
That's good to hear. Also, can you give some numbers to who are watching, like how many number of deals you were able to close, like maybe a percentage of from the demos to closed deals?
Yeah, so the close ratio for demos that are booked through you are about 20%. So I'm closing about 1 out of 5. To be fair, that's lower. We normally close 45% overall, but obviously referral traffic is going to close at a
Yeah,
much higher rate than
always.
cold outreach. So I'm super happy to know that of the 10 demos you get me in a week, I'm probably going to close 2 of them, and that's solid.
Right. Also, I have seen this recently. Like I'm just starting getting referrals, and it's very easier to close. Like I just got 2 referrals, and I closed both of them. But with cold outreach, it's totally different. Like we don't they don't even know us, right? And
Yeah.
to sell them, it needs something solid, right? So I think you have also done a great job with your selling skills. I have seen you're consistent closing 20% of the deal, so that's good to know as
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's a longer sales cycle, right?
well.
Because
Yeah,
if they come to you, they're already halfway to the decision point. If you're going to them, then yeah,
yeah.
they maybe never even thought about it before. So yeah, I'm really happy with a 20% close rate.
Great. So, concluding this, can you just tell people, if someone is skeptical about working with us, what would you tell them? Like, if they don't even know about me, yeah, am I easier to work with? How do we perform? Can you just close by telling more about that?
Yeah, dude, I was skeptical. Like you did a cold outreach to our company. I'd never heard of you, had no idea who you were. You just showed up in my inbox. So I was definitely skeptical. The thing that made it work was the idea of the way it was structured. And I thought that made all the sense in the world. We'll give it a shot, see what it's like. And Sarab, you and your team have been you've been super responsive. If I've ever had a question about scripting or needed to make a modification, if there's been some updates in our product, anytime something needs to happen or be coordinated, you're super responsive. I know it's a little it can be a little uneasy working with an outsourced company, especially one that's an international outsourced company. I would not be worried about it at all. I'm super glad that I did it. And in fact, Sarab, over the course of our relationship together, uh, we've developed a really good rhythm in like qualifying lead lists and coordinating efforts together and understanding what the targets should look like. So, man, I have no doubts, no regrets, no reservations at all.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, also when we even start working with someone, we always say like for 2 3 months you don't or might not see results because it takes time for us even to understand the messaging, even the targeting as well. But when we click it, we are consistently able to generate like 3 to 4 calls every week.
I think that's true for us. I think we started working together in January, and I think our first demo might have been February or March, early
Right.
in March, late February. It took almost a month, but once they started coming, they kept coming.
Yeah, we also try to identify what works and then build on that, right? Because in beginning we want to try multiple angles. Either that could be saving cost in buying used cars, obviously having a good enough ROI, right? So with you, I have seen like it works to show them a new way of buying used cars. So everybody is interested in that. So that's what we have found, and that's what we have been capitalizing on.
Yeah, yeah, it's worked really well, and I think we got better at identifying the target lists together
Right.
too, like and the list that you're pulling, the titles. Like your team does a great job of finding email addresses and contact information for decision makers inside of dealership.
Right, because we have to target relevant roles. If we are just for you, you help in buying used cars. But if you are just targeting, let's say, people who are in parts department, it doesn't make sense, right? So that's
Right.
what we identify. So if we just target general managers, used car managers, and most of the time, even if they are not the right person, they will redirect to us the right person, right? Because they see like this is something unique and this could work great for their dealership.
Super happy with it, super satisfied. Thanks,
Okay.
Rob.
Thank you, Clayton. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you understand how we were able to refine the process for vehicle acquisition network to book more and more calls as we went ahead with the process, how we refined the targeting and the messaging as well. Now, if you want more qualified calls for your business, feel free to book a call with me from down below or from my website, which is scoutreach.co, co, not .com, right? And I will analyze your current situation. I'll see where you are with your current outreach efforts, how many calls you are booking per month, what strategy you are using. And on the call itself, I will identify a strategy that would work for you, how you can scale your campaigns, and how you can easily book like 20 to 30 qualified calls every month. So, if you are someone who is looking for more qualified calls, feel free to book a call and we will talk soon. Thanks.